Hugga with me. I guess she's asleep. Shh. I think I'll try to wake her up. Hopefully I won't scare her. Here we go. Hugga! Ah! Hugga, what happened to your face?
Huh? Where's Hugga?
Your face.
Huh? Ah! Hold on. There. Is that better?
That's better. Why were you sleeping?
I was so exhausted. It's been a long day.
Well, what did you do today?
You know, got up, brushed my hair, and that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
And you're exhausted from doing those things?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys get exhausted from brushing your hair?
No, because they don't have as much hair as me.
This is true. They probably don't have as much hair as you. Speaking of hair, what happened to your eyebrow?
What? Oh, yeah. I got a boo-boo.
You got a boo-boo? Hugga, are you okay?
I think so. I think I'm going to be okay.
Well, what happened? How'd you get a boo-boo?
Well, you see, I was just minding my own business, walking through the house, and a door hit me in the face.
A door?
Yeah. It was closed, but, it hit me.
You mean you walked into the door?
I don't know if that's the story I'm going with.
Okay. So basically, you ran into a door and your head hurts now?
Yep. So I put a Band-Aid because they said Band-Aids heal everything.
They probably don't heal everything. They're good if you have a cut.
I have a cut?
No, I'm saying if you have a cut.
Well, do
I don't see because you've got a Band-Aid over it.
Oh. Whew. Phew. That's good to know.
You having a boo-boo, though, over your eye reminds me of someone else in the Bible that had a boo-boo.
Oh, yay! A story! Ah!
That's right, story time, because that's what you like to do with Hugga, don't you, boys and girls? And moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and wonderful other people that like to watch Hugga. Our story today actually talks about... Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Our story today talks about actually someone that had a lot of boo-boos.
Oh, did they use a lot of Band-Aids?
I don't know if they had Band-Aids back in Bible days, but maybe they wrapped it with some cloth and some medicine.
That's good.
Well, this person that had boo-boos, though, it was a lot worse than Hugga's boo-boo.
Huh? No, nothing is worse than mine.
Okay, it was almost as bad as Hugga's boo-boo. It was, in fact, a deadly disease.
Ah! What was it?
It was called leprosy.
He turned into a leper?
No, but this man, how'd you know it was a man?
I don't know, I guessed.
His name was Naaman. And Naaman had leprosy. But Naaman was a very important person. He was a captain. He was a military guy. And here we see that all of a sudden one day, he noticed he had some sores coming on his body. And back then, it was a very terrible disease to have called leprosy because it not only had sores all over your body, but usually if you'd get that, that means that you would have to leave your home and stay away from your family and your friends and everything that you loved.
And no pizza?
Probably no pizza. I don't think they had pizza back then.
Mashed potatoes?
No mashed potatoes. And you had to go off and live usually on your own or with other people that had leprosy. It was a terrible disease because usually, too, people that had it would eventually die. But before this man named Naaman got this terrible disease, leprosy, we see that he was about doing his work in his business that he was doing. He was military. He was the captain of an army, the Syrian army.
Did they like cereal?
No, Syrian and cereal are two different things.
I like Lucky Charms, personally. What do you guys like?
I guess it's a good question. What kind of cereal do you like? Oh.
I think someone likes Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cheerios? I think they should make cereal named after me.
Cereal named after you?
Yeah, you know, like Hugga-O's with hugs and kisses in it. Ah!
Maybe they will.
Can't you just imagine little tiny Huggas in a cereal box? You know, little marshmallows. Ah, that's a good one. I could be a marshmallow.
That would be great. But would you really want everybody to be eating you?
I didn't think about that. Maybe that's not a good idea.
Maybe not. Back to the Syrian army.
Okay, go ahead.
The Syrian army, they one day on one of their raids came upon a town, a village, just like they normally would. And as they were there, this captain of the army found a girl. She was just a little Jewish girl, a girl that loved God, that served God and wanted to do right. And the Bible tells us that at that time, armies, they would take people to become their servants and slaves. And that's one way that they would conquer their land.
This is terrible.
Yes, but this little girl, she becomes very brave. And the Bible tells us that she's a hero.
How?
Well, keep listening.
Okay,
Maybe not that close.
okay. This good?
That's good.
Okay.
All right. So we see that this little girl, the Bible doesn't tell us her name, but she was a hero because Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army, took her from her home and brought her to live in his household to serve his wife, Mrs. Naaman. And this little girl did her work to the best of her ability. She didn't complain. She didn't cry and say, I can't believe this is terrible. God has not taken care of me. God has allowed me to be a prisoner and in my enemy's house and I have to work and I don't get to see my family. And
She did not say any of that.
no, she did not. In fact, this girl decided that she was going to try to serve God still, even though she was not in the same situation she was before. You know, sometimes as you grow older, especially, you'll be in different situations. And sometimes you'll be around people that don't know God, don't love God, and maybe some of those people don't even think God is real. But what's the best way to show that God is real?
Draw a picture of him?
No?
Say, God is real! God is real! God is real!
No. Even though that is important to say, one of the best ways to show that God is real is by living your life to serve God and to shine His light through all you do. Be kind. The words that you say, the actions that you do, let them all reflect how God would want you to, and others will see Him clearer, even beyond what you could say. Sometimes your actions do speak louder than your words.
Oh, well, I can talk pretty loud.
That's true. Well, this young girl, even though she was scared and terrified and homesick and probably angry at the unfairness of the situation, she didn't let it stop her. In fact, she continued to do all that God wanted her to do, and then she helped the wife of Naaman. But one day, she heard the most terrible news, that Naaman was sick.
Oh, this is the part.
He had leprosy. Now, she could have cheered. She could have said, oh, good, now he's going to die, and it's all good, and I can maybe go back home again.
I would have said, pack my bags, let's go, now, yes!
Do you think that's what she should have said?
No, I guess not.
No, that's not the thing that she should have said. In fact, she did the best thing possible. She went and she told him about a man named Elisha that could help him with his illness. And do you know what happened, Hugga?
Let me guess. He didn't do it. He said, no way, you little girl.
No. In fact, he agreed to go see this prophet because he didn't want to die. Think about it. If you were really sick and there was a treatment that you could do or put a Band-Aid on it and get better, then I'm sure you would do it.
Yes, I would. I did.
And so that's what Naaman did. He went before Elisha, just like that little girl said, and he petitioned.
Huh?
He petitioned.
Huh?
Petition.
I know her word. What does it mean?
It means he went and he asked him.
Oh, you asked him. You could have just said that, you know.
Well, I try to use bigger words sometimes.
Why?
It expands our brain.
It confuses me. That's what it does.
So as Naaman went before Elisha and asked him, this had to take some faith and trust that Elisha's God was going to hear him. And you know what? It was more than just about Naaman's health. This little girl, because she shared that God could use Elisha to heal Naaman's illness, ultimately this little girl was being a witness and a missionary for God. And we see that Naaman did. He went before Elisha. Elisha told him, he said, you need to go down to the river and you need to dip into the Jordan River 7 times.
Okay, take a bath.
No, not take a bath. Go into a river, very, very dirty. Now think about it. Think about a river.
Uh-huh.
What's in a river?
Mud, fish, rocks. Ew.
Yes. And he said, go down into that river and submerge your whole body down. And guess what?
He said no thanks.
No. In fact, he was maybe a little bit hesitant, thinking, how is this going to work? But he did. And so he went down into the Jordan River.
Where?
Oh, it's not here. Just imagine.
Oh.
And he dipped in the water 1 time. Good job, Hugga.
Thanks.
And then he dipped again. And again.
Again.
How many times is that? 4? 5? 6?
Isn't that enough?
No, because on the 6th time, look, his hands, they still had all those lepers, sores, and all this. And he said 1 more time. It had to be 7 times exactly. And that's exactly what he did. He dipped down 1 more time.
Here we go. Oh.
And as he went down into that river, can you imagine? Maybe he was holding his breath. Maybe he's trying to think, oh, I wonder if this is going to be healed. And when he came up the 7th time... What?
I'm healed!
You're healed?
I don't have a boo-boo anymore!
You don't!
That worked, you're right. Whoa. Every time I have a boo-boo, I'm going to dip 7 times.
Well, it might not work every time, but it worked that time for Naaman. And he came up and his skin was as white as a baby's fresh skin.
White as a baby's bum.
No, but it was white and fresh as clean skin would be, without sores, without blemish. And Naaman, you want help back up in your chair?
Yeah.
And Naaman was healed. Not just because he dipped in the water, but because he trusted and he obeyed. And Naaman proved that that little girl showed her bravery and courage to tell the good news of how he could be healed. And he did. You know, sometimes we don't understand what's asked of us. We don't understand what God has a plan for our life and what his purpose is for us. But boys and girls, if we trust in him and we obey him whenever he tells us whatever it is to do, he's got a plan for our life that is bigger than our own.
Yeah, just like my hair.
That's right, just like Hugga's hair. So when you think this week about someone who showed bravery, who showed courage, and who spoke up, even when it wasn't the best situation for her, think of that little girl and how she spoke up to Naaman, and how even though she didn't even understand it all, she trusted God that he was going to take care of her. And I believe that he did. I believe that God continued to bless that little girl. You know, after Naaman was healed, he was not only healed physically, but he was healed spiritually. God was able to heal his heart because Naaman had the faith then to believe that God was real. And sometimes that is more important than any of our feelings against someone, to show that God is real.
God is real!
That's right. You can shout it now.
Okay, good. I've been waiting for that.
And we see that Hugga also was healed of her boo-boo. Well, thanks for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed this story. All right, Hugga, come on.
What?
Let's go put an ice pack on your head. Maybe that'll help.
No, I'm healed.
You're healed?
Yeah, I really am. See? I'm healed. Ah!
Oh, Hugga!
Ow.
I'm gonna go